Our live, yes. Hi.
Hi, I'm so excited to be interviewing you today. I have to tell you, I've heard about you. I've been in 1 degree of separation from you for years, and our paths just kind of near missed. And now that I've been studying with you just recently, things that I've been challenged with are like coming together and collapsing and making life more fun and more of a game. But before I want to dive in, I really want people to know you. So if you could give them a little bit of background. So please welcome Meir. Is it Meir?
Yes, yes.
Meir
Well,
Ezra.
in Israeli we'll say Meir, but you're saying it good enough.
Okay,
I'll tell
go.
you what it means. I'll tell you what it means. The word Meir mean bring light into things,
Ah,
and Ezra mean to help.
that is
So
exactly who you are.
yeah, it's just magic. That's exactly my viewpoint. This is what drives me in life, and
Wow.
yeah, it's really interesting. Yes, the name makes the person, or the person makes the name.
My Christiana means little follower of Christ. And I thought, oh,
Oh
I'll
wow!
never live up to that. And I wrote a book about God. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I fulfilled,
I
right?
guess you.
So would you give us a little bit of background? So,
Yes.
because I just heard your background. You never even told me your background when I started studying with you, and it was already mind blowing for me. So, just so people can get some context of who you are and where you come from.
Okay, so I'm an Israeli. I was
Mhm.
born in a very, very small town in the north of Israel on the border with Lebanon.
Mhm.
And for years, as a child, we've been bombed every single night. For years, bombed every night. Every night, my neighborhood was hit. My home was hit, and
Oh my God.
it was a constant. Every night, you knew that you're going to be bombed, and you may die. But and there was no sheltering really. So what would happen? We had a small cement wall
Mhm.
that when the bombs will start, the parents would take the children down to behind the cement wall, and that was the protection. It wasn't really much of a protection. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, and but I never thought that it's a problem. I never consider it as a problem. I saw other children that thought that it's terrible, but
Mhm.
my viewpoint was there is nothing that is a problem in life. Like I didn't think there is a problem. Um, I was born also with my both feet pointing backward. So from the age of zero, basically from the age of 3 days up to the age of six, I was with the cast up to my hips.
Mhm.
And every 3 days, my mother took me in a bus to a hospital that was like 1.5, 2 hours drive. They will cut the cast, open it, break the feet, put a new cast. And the terrible thing was,
Oh my
uh,
God.
yeah, it was really terrible, terrible, terrible because they actually broke the feet. Like they
Mhm.
broke it. So after 6 years, my feet started to look at the right direction, but I didn't have heels. That I don't have this movement or anything, and it's broken. It's totally broken. It's messed up. And the doctor said, "Look, you'll be able to stand maybe, but not walk." And I
Wow.
said, "Of course I will walk. What do you mean?" And to take it fast forward, by the
Mhm.
age of 18, I had to go to the army like every Israeli, and I wanted to volunteer to a special unit. And of course, you need to be 100% fit. And they
Yeah.
asked me, "Are you 100% fit?" I said, "Of course."
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, at that time there was no computers, so they couldn't check. They didn't have like medical records or stuff like that. You said that it's okay,
Wow.
then okay, that's it. So we started the course. The course was 2 years. I was a diver in the Israeli Navy.
Mhm.
So we started the course. It was 2 years. We started 4,000 people. We finished 21, and yeah, it was unbelievable. experience because it was really a difficult course, but I decided that I'm going to do it, and I did it by a viewpoint that I'm always, all my life, this is my viewpoint. I did it by always thinking that I have 5 seconds. I live in increments of 5 seconds, which means nothing happens for longer than 5 seconds. So there's never, so pain is only 5 second pain. If I'm tired for 5 seconds. So the next 5 seconds I can change it. Nothing is really a lifetime because there's a view, everyone knows that everything changed.
Yes.
But they behave like nothing changed. Everyone knows everything changed, but the behavior is like nothing will ever change. And that's what messes up people. Because if you think that everything is set, then you have no control. You are total effect. It's already set. Someone decided, and you just need to hope for the best. You hope you don't get what you deserve. So
you see that too. Like I just turned 51, and just in my age group, I hear people talking, oh, well, I'm looking like my mother or whatever. And they just accept it. Like, oh, in my family, this is just how we get, or I'm getting old. And then they get old in their thinking. And so I love this idea of increment of 5 seconds. It's I'm going to adopt that one.
Yeah. So I'm doing everything in increment of 5 seconds. So when I'm very competitive. So when I do a competition, when I do anything that is difficult, for me, it's only 5 seconds. So I can experience anything for 5 seconds. I'll give you an example. I was one time in the gym with my son and his friends, and they were 18 and I was, I don't know, like 50 something. And so we decided to compete on dips. And the first dip that I've done, I hear this thing, ting, from here, from the, like something went
pop something?
Yeah, something popped, something broke. So, and I felt the pain, but 5 seconds, I can take the pain for 5 seconds, yes? So I continue to do those dips, I won the competition, of course.
Of course.
And when I finished, the elbow just became like, and I went to hospital and blah, 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 big problem, blah, 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 blah. But and the doctor said, it cannot be that you continue to do this thing while this thing happened. And why did I continue? Because it's only 5 seconds. I create the next 5 seconds. Every time I create the next 5 seconds, I create it. And when you look at life like that, I think it's more correct than when you look at life as something that continuous thing. Because life composed of moments.
Right.
And those moments, you either control them or not. And when you don't control them, you are either in the past or in the future. And in both cases, you are cuckoo. For me, present time is the time that I control. And it's not really important how much time I control, as long as I have a time that I control, totally under my control. 5 seconds is my time that I can control. I can predict 5 seconds. Of course, I can predict more once you start to have the viewpoint of 5 seconds. So in difficult moment, 5 seconds, but when it's not difficult, I can predict a year. So increments of 5 seconds is a secret to overcome any problem. If I want to do a diet and I want to lose weight and I feel like I want to eat, so I decide I'm not eating after 7 o'clock and it's midnight and I feel like eating. So I said, okay, 5 seconds I'm not. Only for 5 seconds. Of course, I can not eat for 5 seconds, yes?
Absolutely.
And that's it. You're in control.
And then you'll probably forget about it, and then it'll come back up, and you're like, well, for 5 seconds, I'll go drink a glass of water.
Yeah, but what happened actually is very interesting, that my definition of the word success Success is the sum of all validated improvements.
Okay.
So every 5 seconds I succeeded, I have one more validated improvement. And success is not the quality of the improvement, but the number of the improvements. Everyone looks for quality. They want to say, well, if I didn't make $1 million today, then I'm a failure. Until I didn't make $100,000, I'm a failure. I said, no, as long as in the next 5 seconds, I did something that I intended in that 5 seconds, good. And what happened once you convince yourself a few 5 seconds that you can, then you know that you can. Then you don't try to be successful. You're already successful. You're now creating. You move from the area of trying to be successful to creating. Why? Because success is a target only for failures.
Okay, say that again.
Who wants to be successful? Only failures. Only if you're a failure, you want to be successful. If you already succeeded, you're starting to create. You don't want to be successful. Like, I don't want to become mayor because I'm already mayor. I'm not going around and say, oh, I wish I will be successful. I wish I will be mayor. I wish I will be mayor. I am. So success is a target only for failures. So for as long as you want success, you're a failure. That's why I'm not looking for success. I'm looking 5-minute increment of I created the 5 minutes. I created the 5 minutes. I created the 5 minutes. That's it. I'm successful. Like, I close myself on I'm successful in the subject of diet, or I'm successful in the subject of something. And from that moment on, you create your future.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know for me, I've been the queen of saying, okay, I'll get all this done. And I put a huge list out and I do a lot, but I still miss the mark by whatever. And then I focus on the fact that I don't complete, but I complete a lot, but I keep my attention on, or I did this before we started working together. I started focusing on going, oh, why is goal setting such a challenge for me? Right? Because I set these goals, and then if I miss any part of it, it just does that cycle where things start to crumble. Instead of, it's just easier to say, well, I can handle right now. Like, I can handle this step. I can handle this moment, right?
Yeah. Because really, you don't fix things. The usual thing, if I ask someone, well, there's a broken relationship, how do you fix it? So they will say, find what's wrong and fix that. I say, find what's right and intensify that. The wrong will go away. If I put enough light into a situation, the darkness will go away. I don't need to take the darkness away. There's no way to take the darkness away. There's only way to increase the light. But instinctively, everyone wants to show how they are right by making people wrong. So instinctively, they find what's wrong with people. And that's the bug.
Oh. You had said, and the reason that I started studying with you is you had done a free webinar, and it was the Corona and Cash. What I'm understanding, what I'm hearing a lot of, people are saying, oh, it's a challenging time. Oh, it's a really bad time. Oh, this, oh, that. And they're putting a lot of attention on what's not working. What I realized in what you had said to what you were teaching with me is that you said, okay, if there's some place where you're stuck in your life, or you've only had this level of accomplishment, let's not say success, but this level of accomplishment up until now, you are the reason why. Unless you decide that it's okay to change that bar, it doesn't matter what course you take. It doesn't matter what you do, what time management thing you do, what organizational thing you do, or whatever, until you decide that you are able to win, which, by the way, I looked up the etymology of the word win, and it comes from a German origin meaning to subdue or acquire. So I really don't like win, because I'm like, I don't like the way that they say acquire and subdue.
What's my definition of what win?
What?
What I am now.
Oh, I like that better. What I am now. Okay. All right. I like that much better.
So when I have a win is what I am now. I became someone else. I took a new beingness.
Oh, okay. That's brilliant. So I want to come back to this moment of decision, because can you speak on that? Because that was a game changer for me, because I thought, okay, I'm taking these 2 other courses where I'm learning and building my skill set. And at the same time, if I don't choose differently or decide differently, it doesn't matter what I do. So could you speak into that?
Yeah. So generally life can be divided to two viewpoints.
Okay.
You can either see barriers or you can see problems. What's the difference in the definition between a barrier and a problem? A problem is something that you consider you cannot do anything about. You try, but you cannot. Okay? So you've got two opposing opinions, two opposing forces. I want to go here, you want to go there, and it's just pushing one against another, and I can do nothing about it. A barrier is something that brings me into an interest while I know I can overcome it, but for the purpose of making life interesting, I don't overcome it too easily. I know I can overcome it. I know. Yes, I'm starting a business. I'm going to close a client. I know I can close him. Easy, no problem. But if it would be too easy, then it's not interesting. So I make it a little bit of a challenge. So it's interesting. So I will have a win. So I can validate myself. And the result of overcoming those barriers is happiness. You are as happy as you overcome barriers. The number of barriers you overcome per day define how happy you are that day. Yet most people have barriers equal to problem and they're trying to run away from problems, so they're never happy. You are happy when you're climbing the mountain, not when you're sitting at the bottom or at the top. You are happy when you close a deal, not when you are an order taker sitting in the office and just writing orders that someone called and gave to you. You are happy when you set up some kind of a barrier. You're in control. So I'm always saying, like, if I'm in the army, I was really happy when there was another soldier in front of me and we needed to fight, no problem. But I was really not happy about a sniper because I cannot do anything about the sniper. I don't know he's there. So when the barrier is in front of me, I know there's a barrier, I can overcome it. I can do something about it, it's not a problem. But when I cannot do anything about it, it's becoming a problem, and that's not good. And it's the viewpoint that you take. Is it a problem?
So the viewpoint is you can overcome any barrier.
Yeah. Why? Why? Because there's nothing to lose. There is nothing to lose. If you want to be free, you need to have the viewpoint, I have nothing to lose and everything to create. Nothing to lose and everything to create. This is a wonderful playground. And the only thing, and I can create anything, and everything around try to convince me that there's something to lose. But in reality, there's nothing to lose. What can happen to me? I can lose a body. I'll get a newer model. It's very cheap. They're giving it to you for free.
Exactly. So, I love that. And what I hear and what you're saying is it's really a game. It's like we're too serious. It's when we put so much pressure on things. And I have been the queen of serious, and you're helping me a lot. You're helping me a lot with handling that, right? Because when I make something serious, I invest too much, and I feel like I suck the oxygen out of what's possible, right? Like I take away that possibility. I put so much on it that there's no freedom to decide or choose or play or come at it from a different angle. There's no shifting. Yeah.
When you're serious, you actually don't play the game you want to play. You're playing games that you want to avoid. Because what does it mean, resist? The word resist means to keep close to you something that you don't want in order to avoid. When I resist something, I keep something close to me because it has to be close to me in order to resist it, yes? And why I keep it close to me? In order to avoid. So I take all the things that I don't want, keep them close to me in order to avoid them. It's a total insanity. The only way to live life is to know there's nothing to resist, nothing to be serious about.
Wow.
Nothing to resist, nothing to be serious about. Because once you start to resist, you bring it onto you. Because resist means to keep close in order to avoid. Think about the logic behind it and you see how insane it is.
Well, especially with what people are going through right now, right? There's a lot of fear. People are like, if people are out living their life, people are upset that people are out living their life. There's just a whole lot of fear out there, a lot of misinformation. And I would love just something that someone could do just to start getting some freedom in their choices, or just, do you have a drill or something that people could take on as a way just to at least start getting some of that pressure released, right? Where you could not be resisting.
Yeah. So if you feel that you have that you're worried about something and you have a problem, what I would do, I would sit down and write what I'm like, define exactly what I'm worried about, what I'm afraid of.
Okay.
So let's say I'm afraid that something will happen to my car. Someone will steal my car, okay? Or that I will lose my job, or that I will not have income. So I write it, and you need to really articulate what you're worried about, what you're afraid of.
Okay.
And then what you do, you write what could be worse than that.
Okay.
And
so
you
what could be
write,
worse? Okay.
what could be worse than that? What could be worse than that? What could be worse than that? And you will see that if you write enough what could be worse than that, all of a sudden you will understand that it is not so bad as you thought.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. Or if you have, let's say, the situation or COVID, you got people together at home and they're in kind of a jail, and there's a lot of quarrels, a lot of disagreements, yes? So what, let's say you've got a husband and he's like really getting on your nerve, and he's and you getting on his nerve, and he says, you know what, I want to leave you, and that's it, and lots of insanity. What you do, you sit down and you write all the beautiful things that you can find about him. And the thing is, there's not one person that don't have more beautiful things than bad things. Why? Because in this universe, plus come before minus. Creation come before destruction. Why? I cannot destroy something that do not exist. Yes, I cannot destroy something that do not exist. So creation must come before destruction. So if I have hate, before that there was love. If I have pain, before that there was pleasure. So if you look for the pleasure, the light will be so big on the pleasure, the good will be so big that the bad will disappear automatically. So if you just write, you need to sit down and write, and just write what's good. You don't allow to write any bad. You just write what's good about your husband. The magic that will happen, your husband will change. And you continue to do that until it changes.
So continue to do it until it changes.
He will come home and he will tell you, you know, honey, I was just telling you that, but I was not really meant. I didn't really mean it, and I really love you, but I'm just frustrated with you, and I didn't know what to do. He will come and he will, like, with a changed viewpoint, and he will say, what?
So you could do this with anybody you're frustrated with, or anyone you're having a miscommunication with.
Any situation, any situation. If you worry about something, you write what could be worse than that. If someone attack you, if you have the other flaw, you find what's right about the other person or the other situation, and it will magically change. If you do only those things on anything in your life will improve in order of magnitude just by that. Nothing else. You don't need too much. You don't need to understand too much. You just do that. You will have the magic. And what the amazing thing that happened is, once you start to see the good, the other person start to help you. And he see the goods in you, and you see even more good in him, and you see, and it grows and it grows.
It's what you feed grows. right? What you put your attention on grows. And I want to just speak because I've been working with you now for just a few weeks and really going into these drills. So Meir just gave you 3 drills you can do to really be able to, and the challenge is it's so simple, you might not do it. Like it's too easy, right? Simple is truth and complicated is lies, is one of his core sayings. And I went through and you gave us 3 different pieces of homework to do. And one, just listing all of our doubts and listing all of our doubts and listing all of our doubts. Where do I doubt myself? Where do I doubt myself? And what I took from that was every time I have a doubt, I'm unwilling to make a decision. Yeah. And it was like, but what's beautiful is you don't tell me that. You give me a tool and then I end up discovering it about myself. And now I'm like, oh my God. And it doesn't even have to be a right or a wrong or even a logical decision. It doesn't even have to be, it could be crazy. Like it was really funny. I was saying like, I'm not worthy. And I'm like, well, for right this moment, I am. And it was just that. Like, okay, right now I am. I don't know about 10 years from now. I don't know if I'm going to be whatever or whatever like my vision is of what success is that may or may not be attainable. But right now I'm enough. Right now I'm enough. And it was, you know, it was just crazy. Or it's like, it's mind blowing because the gift in the drill that you're sharing is that you go until you get an awareness.
Yeah. Just an improvement, just a win, what I am now. Something new, because your only enemy is that you try to stay constant in a universe that constantly changes. So you go against the universe, and when you go against something, you get a problem. It is so unbelievable. The basic principle is you need to create the change. And the moment that you stop stopping, you cannot withhold yourself from creating. If it's difficult for you, it's difficult for you because you're resisting creation. You're resisting, you're pushing against what you know is good. So you're bringing all the bad things to convince you that you cannot create. If you start pushing, you will see that you can create magic. You can. There's not one person here that don't, you know, I say that the definition of the word fact is anything that used to be an idea.
I love that.
A fact is anything that used to be an idea, which means ideas are the result of ideas is facts. So it means that if I want to undo a fact, all I need is more ideas. Not logical ideas, not practical ideas, not nothing. So we know how to overcome doubts. How do you overcome problems? Problems you overcome by throwing ideas. Not looking for solution, because the instinct will be to look for a solution. You don't look for solutions, never, because solution will give you always the wrong solution.
So problem, you just come up with, like, brainstorm a bunch of different ideas of what's possible.
Just come up, just not possible. Ideas. You have a problem, I don't have enough money. Good. Idea, an airplane will just throw at me $1 billion. Ideas, the computer will start getting out like an ATM cash at me. Ideas, and you come up with ideas. Any ideas.
Doesn't have to be logical.
Nothing. All of a sudden, you will see that you will not consider the problem a problem. And at that moment, the problem will be solved and the physical universe will show up the result. I'll give you an example. I had one lady that I really don't know who she is, never met her. She came up to one of my seminars. I don't even know exactly which one. And in my seminars, I say always, like, if you have a problem, write to me, I will help you. So she wrote to me and she says, look, I have a restaurant and I'm stuck. I have no money and I have almost no place to stay because they want to kick me out because I cannot pay the rent and I cannot pay the rent for the restaurant and I cannot. Big problems. And it's like when you hear that, the usual person will hear like such a big problem, there's nothing to do about it. There's no way out, like nothing. And I told her, first of all, you need to know there's a solution, because you're creating the problem. So it's a fact, because it's a fact. You have an idea that created that, but you just stop putting the idea there. Let's start putting in ideas. And she was resistant, and she said, well, look, Meir, I really appreciate you. I really like what you teaching. I was in one webinar, and it sounds really logical. I don't fully understand it, but it sounds logical, but it's weird. Ideas? I said, yes. What do you? I mean, you have nothing to lose. You cannot go to work. You are in home. You don't have much to do. Just sit down and write ideas for 1 hour. Right? Yes, just 1 hour's ideas. So she write ideas. And she write me a text, and she said, "You won't believe what happened." I said, "What happened?" She said, "I got $14,000, 14,000, whatever. I don't remember exactly the number. 14,000, blah, blah, blah. And I can send you the actual text. I can show 14,000 from nowhere. No one owed her the money, nothing. She got 14,000 money that the government just found out that she somehow paid something that she didn't many years ago, and they found a mistake, and blah, 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 blah. And money come to her. 14,000, I don't remember the whole number, 14,000, blah, 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 blah. And you will say, but it's a coincidence. No, it would be coincident if it will happen once, but every single one of my clients, they have a problem. I show them what to do. They do it, and the miracle happened. They actually call it miracle. My student.
A miracle. I love it. So that's great. So just that process of, so if someone's watching this and they are not sure what to do, they have no idea how to move forward in their business, they're drowning in financially, or maybe they want to take their business to the next level, or they're instead of feeling like their business is collapsing, they want to expand it. So all they have to do for an hour is sit down and just write ideas. Like it could be anything, like money will fall from a tree. It doesn't even matter what the idea is. It's not like it has to be smart or correct or.
Just take a stopwatch and for 1 hour write ideas.
Wow.
Write ideas.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to call you and tell you what I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I challenge everyone watching this to do it. Take 1 hour and do it, and then write all your stuff down here, because I want to be able to bring that back to Meir. So for those of you that have kept watching this long, I feel like I can see, having done the work with you and doing the work with you, that what I realize is all the stuff that's going on are things that have been programmed into me by other people, where I was told that I wasn't the source of the information. So therefore I have to look to somebody else. I think the church is the first way, right? They say, oh, it's not about you, right? The first thing they do is take away your power and say, and I feel bad. So if anyone's upset, I'm just saying, like, it's just an idea, right? So again, and I'm not dismissing the church in any way, but
even if you look at the Bible, I'm Jewish, and I've studied many religions. In every single religion, whoever the God is, he says, I created you in my vision, or part of me, depends in different religions. So, and basically what it means, you have my abilities. Maybe on a smaller scale, but you have my abilities. One thing for sure, you are not a piece of rock. And in that case, it means you can bring about something out of nothing, because God, what is God? Is someone that can bring something out of nothing. And if I'm part of God, the only way for me to be part of God is to bring something out of nothing. And when I don't do that, it's blasphemy.
Okay, I love that reframe on it. So for those of you watching, do the idea thing, whatever it is, but just sit down, figure out what it does. Now, do they have to have a problem in advance of what they're working on with this, or?
You need to define the problem. You take one problem, and you take only one problem. Don't take my whole life is a mess. Define the problem. The problem has to be really defined. Like, I have a problem with this. I don't know. The problem is I don't have enough money. Or I don't know how to close customers, or all my friends left me, or my wife thinks that I'm an idiot, whatever.
Okay.
Anything. You define the problem and come up with ideas on how to solve that problem, not a challenge. Something that is a problem. Problem is something that you consider no solution. I don't have a solution right now.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I'm so excited to do this. I can't wait. And I think the challenge is because it seems so simple that it's almost like my mind, what my little voice is telling me is like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. No, it's too simple. It's never going to work. And so and again, I feel like it's show up out of curiosity and play and see what happens. Even if, look at your life, even if you don't have enough money right now, or maybe not enough clients or whatever, just take something simple like that and just play for an hour and see what happens. The other thing I want to share is what I realized working with you is that when I was very young, I knew a lot of things. It just intuitively, right? I just knew a lot of things. And I always felt like I had this internal compass that was guiding me. And what I realized is I was told that because I didn't have evidence of what I knew, that I wasn't right. And I gave away that power. And I feel like I spent my whole life working on getting that back. And it wasn't until we had worked together, I was like, oh my God, that's it. Remember when you said, like, when did the seriousness start and who said it? And I don't necessarily know who said it, but I remember that age. And I remember being in the house, and I remember, and it's so powerful. It's just so powerful. So you are doing a free course. What I love about you too is that you give so much away because you were just so committed to serving and helping. So you have a free course coming up. The first one has already come and gone, but I have the recording that I will send to you. So just PM me and I will send you the recording, and then you can jump into this free class. Can you please tell them about what's going on with the class?
Yeah. So there's a story about this class. So there's a lady, her name is Ray Indigo. And Ray is a wonderful, amazing person. But other than being wonderful and amazing person, she's a very good yoga teacher and very responsible. And she's been teaching, I think, for 20 years, very successful. She lives in Miami and she teaches all over the world. And about, I think, 8 months ago, a year ago, she somehow found me. And I was in Italy, somewhere in Italy. And she calls me and she say, I saw all your videos and I watch every single videos that you have online. And I was looking for you for a long time, and I think that you will have the answer for me. I said, well, that sounds good. And what's the problem? And she said, look, I've been teaching yoga for many years, and I've decided that I'm not going to teach anymore. And I'm either going to find something that actually works, or I'm going to change profession. Wow. So, okay, that's amazing. Why? What's happening? And she said, look, I've done all kind of things with people, and I told them, and they didn't get the result. They got the result from me being nice to them and communicating with them, but I didn't bring them this improvement that they look for. So I almost feel like I'm cheating them, and I don't want to do that. I'm too ethical for that. So I said, okay, fine. We can fix that for sure. It's not a problem. And I said, what you need to do is to take courses and so on and so on. And she said, no, that's too long. I want to know now. I said, no problem. I can do coaching with you, but I'm expensive. I cost $40,000 per day. She says, that's not a problem. I'll pay you. I said, okay, let's start. We started the first lesson, and by the end of the first lesson, according to her and according to the results that she have actually in the physical universe, she've learned more than what she've learned all the 20 years, and she've done courses with all the most amazing teachers in yoga. And she said that in that lesson, she expanded and understood and handled more situation and raised more than ever before. And since then, I kept teaching her, and she became part of the inner circle in our group. She came to my live seminar 6 days, and she's done lots of things. And so one day she came to me a few weeks ago, and she said, I'm going to teach the Yoga Sutras. So I said, good. And So how can I help you? So she said, well, I was teaching it before, and I don't think that they're totally right, the Yoga Sutras. I said, let me have a look. So I've looked, and they don't make sense. They don't make sense at all as they're written right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that it cannot be that they don't make sense. Why? Yoga came thousands and thousands of years up to here. It means that there must be some major truth in it. There must be something really good. Otherwise, it wouldn't survive.
Yes.
Because what keeps something going is the truth, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, good. What I will do, I will figure out a way to remember what it was and then take any person and teach them how to remember. No, I'm not going to give anyone the Yoga Sutras as I see them, because who made me the source of that thing? It will be just nonsense. Even if it's correct, it sounds to me a little bit too much.
Okay.
And incorrect, because still I will be the source. So I will take any person and I will teach them how to find the Yoga Sutras by their own. And she said, what? I said, yes, let me show you. Let me do that with you. And I took her and I explained to her, I showed her how to do this process, and she herself could figure out things that she couldn't see. And what she came up with was exactly what I came up with. You understand? Exactly the same, without sharing data, yes? And the idea is to take a class of a few hundred people and to teach them how to do that. And everyone should come to the same conclusion, the same lines of the Yoga Sutras, without me actually telling them what the lines are. You get the idea?
I'm just so excited I'm in the class.
Yes. So what I'm doing right now, I'm doing a series of a few free classes just to set up the language, because in order for you to even look, I need to be able to communicate with you. So when I tell you truth, you know what I mean truth, because believe me, 99.9999999% of people don't actually know what is the word truth. They think truth is a viewpoint, or truth is what I think is true, or truth. They have all kind of definition. They don't actually know what does it mean. When I say problem or barriers before today, everyone had this thing as a kind of a mix. When I say thinking, if I ask any person what the word thinking mean, the definition will not be a definition that bring an actual result. So how do you know if you know a definition of a word? The definition itself will handle all the problem related to that word. So for example, the word clever mean, in my definition, is the ability to recognize truth. It handles all the problems of cleverness. You want to be clever? Start to recognize truth. That's it. And what does it mean, truth? Truth means the moment of creation, something that don't have continuation. So you want to be clever, forget about your past, because you are as not clever as you rely on your experience, because your experience is the sum of all your limitations. And when you knew in the past, when you had this internal voice, it is this thing that knows you. And then when people tell you that you don't know, you actually lose you, and you substitute you with your experience, and your experience is what people and things gave you. It's not you.
Yes, that's why they repeat over and over and over, because you're just pulling from the same thing. Like I noticed right when I got out of high school and I moved away, and I couldn't even remember some of the people I went to high school with, I had somebody who mirrored every person in my new world. And I'm like, wait a second, how does that even happen? Because I'm drawing from my past to create my future, instead of creating a future that I'm interested in and then moving into that.
Exactly.
I say that with organizing all the time. If you organize what you have, you're just bringing the past into your present. You have to decide where you want to go and then set up your space in order to move forward. And I've done that intuitively for years, 20 years. I've been teaching that. I've been saying, look, if I give you a set of rules and you follow what I do, it should be able to be applicable in any way you want to mold it to make it you. If it's not moldable, for me, it's not truth, because who am I to say this is how it is? Even in my book that I wrote, I was like, you're figuring out what it is. I'm just going to give you a tool to dive deeper to figure out what that is. I'm not here to tell you who God is. It's not my role.
Exactly. So the basic principle is that, or the basic mistake is that all education is considered to be a process of adding data. And my viewpoint is that education is a process of deleting data and allowing you to know.
I tell you, if it's so free when I get on a class with you, and then when I watch it the second time, it's amazing, the shift in perspective. I mean, it makes a massive difference for me. So I'm just so grateful. So how would people be able to join? So how many classes are you going to be having for this yoga?
Well, the overall classes, the actual classes, is 300 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
300. This is a massive class to get you to actually master what I want you to get to. But the beginning, I'm going to deliver 4 free introductory classes. And in these classes, I will explain to you why you need to buy the 300 classes. And it is going to be in 3 sets. The first class will be 30 hours. The second class, 107. The second module will be 170 hours. And the last module will be 100 hours. I'm selling just the first model, and the second and third model will be invitation only. It's only people that will actually show me that they can do the drills, do the processes. I will show them the second part, because the second part is so powerful that if you will do it incorrectly, you will damage yourself. So I need to know that I have people that can actually do properly an instruction or a drill.
And I want to come back to really, like, the classes that you're offering are mind-blowing in that when you get fundamental truths, you get more clarity in your own life, because I'm all about clarity. I'm the clarity strategist, right? So everything I'm about is how do you get clarity? And I'm not here to give it to you. I'm here to I'm like the windshield wiper that takes the mud off your windshield, right? Like, that's how I view myself. And right, and it's weird. I've never quite known how to market myself. So I'll work with you on that, right? But because it's like, I'm the thing that takes things away. I'm not the thing that adds things. So it's so counter to what's going on in the world. However, what I want people to really know is sign up for the free classes, because you're going to get some really foundational principles that'll give you basic understanding, where if you just apply that to your life will transform. I mean, it's mind-blowing how when you get just this little bit of data, just like the things that he gave you, the drills, if you just do those drills, don't have us tell you, do it yourself and let yourself be the experiment, right? It's amazing how your life is going to start opening up, because you are in control. You are the source of all knowledge. You have everything you need. You just have to get rid of everything that's in the way of what you've been told.
Yeah. And I said that those classes are free, but free do not mean easy.
No, no. And I've had to really take a really hard look at myself with a lot of compassion and go, oh, wow. In all my desire to do well, I ended up not listening to myself and applying what other people told me. And I gave away my power. And it's amazing to see that any problem that I've had, so the big awareness I got is anything in my life that I feel is a problem is a place I've given away my power. That was my huge takeaway. So every place that I have a problem, it's where I'm not owning it. Crazy.
It's amazing, amazing.
I know. I've only done how many like 3 classes with you? I think we're only on 3 classes and one of the free classes. And it's like, I feel like I'm like, it's wonderful. And it's a game. I'm so lighthearted. I'm more playful than I've ever been. It's like, people are in fear, and all I do is love them more, because I'm not taking it so seriously. I'm like, oh my gosh, all I want to do is serve more. So it's been a wonderful experience. I really just want to honor the people that I know and love. That, first of all, if you've stuck around this long, then it's definitely a choice for you, right? Because it's so powerful, and it's like, to get you in 5 minutes just feels like such a disservice. To like really spend time to understand that there's so much value. And I actually went back because I'm in a community with a lot of your friends and a lot of your students, and I've been going back and watching all their lives, and I'm taking notes, and I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. So I have all these questions for you at another time. But is there any final words that you have about the class or getting signed up? I've got the first class, the replay. So if you want to just private message me, I'll send you the link. You know, I'm sure we can work it out where they can stay caught up. Right.
So a few things. First of all, if you have any questions, anything personal, any help that you need, just private message me. Follow me on Instagram, Meir Ezra official, and just send me a message. And I always answer, always. And I'm always willing to help, and I'm not doing it. You don't need to pay me. You don't owe me anything. You're not nothing. I just want to help. And that's it. And it's me answering. I don't have some assistant that help. I answer every single person, and you will see over time that it's me and it's only me, and I will help you. How I'm going to help you is not with what you want to hear, but with what you need to hear. So if you want an answer that will make you feel good, wrong person, don't contact me. I'm going to get you something that probably will not feel so good at the beginning, but it will bring you result 100% guaranteed.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that our paths have finally lined up at the perfect time. And just thank you so much for being here with me. I'm so grateful. And I can't wait. I'm with you tomorrow again for our second class. And I'm just going to listen to the class from last week tonight. So I still have that. It's like, I feel like you're in my ear like the whole time.
Thank you.
So thank you so much
for reaching, and thank you for everyone that was listening.
Yes.
Really, thank you. And I will meet you probably again, and we'll do more of those calls. I really like you. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you. I would love that. Oh my gosh, any way that I can serve to help. I mean, finally someone else who's like getting the mud off the windshields. It's like breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Here we go. Thank you.